The following podcast is taken from a live broadcast on Inspire FM.
Catch a creative vibe on the Urban Kube with Sister Shemiza.
Good morning and assalamu alaikum. It's 10 o'clock Monday, 1st of April. Yes, you heard right. 1st of April already. Mashallah. It is the Urban Kube with me, Shemiza, taking you all the way up to 12 o'clock on Inspire FM, 105.1 FM. Thank you for joining me this morning on this lovely, bright, but slightly chilly morning. Temperatures around 12 degrees, a bit of a breeze, but a lovely, clear blue sky this morning. As always, the Urban Kube is a celebration of faith-inspired creativity and positive action with a wealth of guests, local and national, joining me on the show to share their creative journeys and to get you motivated, inspired and engaged with their projects. On today's show, I'm joined by not one but two local ladies, voices that you will recognise, inshallah, because they're regulars on the show, and they're going to be talking to me about two extremely exciting projects, one called Echoes of Diaspora and the other one is around people, power and passion. Curious? Well, so am I, inshallah. They'll be joining me very shortly to tell me a little bit more about what these projects are. Now, as mentioned already, it is the 1st of April. Goodness me, where is the time flying to, alhamdulillah. And on the show, we're also going to be talking about the countdown to Ramadan, because Ramadan is nearing to us very closely, mashallah, just a couple of weeks away, and it will be Ramadan soon as well. So I'll be asking you guys, how are you preparing for Ramadan? Are you doing a bit of a Ramadan countdown, possibly, with the children? That would be quite interesting to see how you get your children engaged with kind of preparing the excitement for Ramadan. The clock changed. The clocks have changed, people. What was it like this morning getting to work? Did you get to work on time? Were the little ones slightly blurry-eyed? I totally was. Oh, my goodness. So it'd be quite nice to know if you got to work on time, but you'll be at work, so you won't be able to contact me, right? But if you're listening on the way to work, then inshallah do get in contact with us. Now, in order to do that, it's 07779481822. Oh, now back in the studio. I'm not alone. I am in great company with no other than a producer, teacher, activist, mother. She is just everything and everything. I'm going to say everything and everything because she's absolutely remarkable. And she's a voice that you recognise, guys, because she also is the voice behind the book club show. Who am I talking about? It's no other than Imrana Mahmood. Assalamu alaikum, Imrana.
Wa alaikum assalam. That's such a lovely introduction. Thank you.
Of course. Naturally, my dear, naturally. Thank you so much for joining the show. It's been a while, hasn't it?
Yeah, it has actually. I've missed it. Yeah.
Thank you. And
it's
you've
nice
always been my wonderful co-host on the show, sharing your wonderful insight to the world around us. And mashallah, your journey has been quite extraordinary from the last time I spoke to you. You have launched the book club show, which is doing exceptionally well. Go on, give the show a plug. When's it on for?
It's every fortnight on Tuesdays, at 10 to 11 a.m.
So are you on this week?
No, tomorrow is going to be a repeat from last week, but then I will be on next week. I get confused myself sometimes, but yeah.
That's fine. I mean, did the clock going forward confuse you in any way? What was your weekend like?
No, it always confuses me. And I did the weird thing of only changing half the clocks in the house, which is confusing me even more. So,
but when they're analog, it makes life easier, right?
Well, no, but that's what's weird. Like, I was thinking, actually, a couple of the gadgets that I assumed would have didn't, but then I don't know. But yeah, so I went round. But then the main one, which is when we're leaving the house, which is kind of a standard pendulum kind of style clock. That one I didn't change, so I was really confused this morning about to leave for the school run. But it was fine.
And the children got up?
Ish. Yeah, I had to wake them up. But,
both with matching socks, not like my household.
Yeah. They had matching socks, so we weren't that bad.
I had a very interesting story this morning. Okay. I got stuck to the back of the seat of my car. You know, I was like stuck to the driving seat because one darling child somehow stuck chewing gum on the back of the coat. And I'm like, I don't know how it happened. I don't know where it came from. So I'm just like, eased myself out of the seat. Oh, goodness me. It was Mother's Day. Mothering Sunday.
Yes,
obviously it's in Islamically Mother's Day should be every day, but it's it's nice to have a bit of a gesture, a reminder to the family to kind of like hello. Mom time, why not?
Absolutely. I mean, we all need reminders. Reminders are good. And what did we do? My girls, they gave me obviously nice handmade cards and these kind of flowers which weren't actually real, but they were still nice. And then I remember my daughter, because I'd woken up and she said, "Oh, but we were meant to bring you breakfast in bed." Oh. And I was like, "It's okay. At least the intention was there." Which would have been nice.
The thought is what counts. And thank you, children, for sticking me to the back of the seat of the car.
Yes.
That was very, very thoughtful of you. But massive, big, heartfelt duas to all the mothers and all the aunts that do a tremendous job, and all the carers do a tremendous job looking after, and thoughts with all the mothers that are not with us anymore as well. So it was wonderful to see all the social media sharing the wonderful gifts given to the mothers, and I think it's nice. It's a nice reminder to be spoilt. Yeah, it'd be lovely if it happened every single day.
I know. I mean, I had my daughter go, so when's Children's Day then?
Ooh.
I'm like, well, Children's Day is every day, surely. We're always at your beck and call. Surely that's enough. But no, apparently not.
Oh, dear. And trust it to be your daughters to make that insightful day. Now, they've been on the radio with you as well, haven't they? They were doing a bit of reading live on the show. What was that experience like for them?
I hope to think they really enjoyed it. So I'd asked them to choose 2 books or 2 of their favourite books to talk about. It was their first time on the radio. It was good to, I guess, give them insight on some of the stuff that I'm doing every time I say, I'm going to be going to the radio. So that was definitely good. Although my eldest, she was testing the boundaries a little bit, because obviously everyone knows that the show or the shows here on Facebook Live. So my girls went on Facebook, but my daughter, she was swiveling around in the chair, and she was swiveling, and I was trying to get her attention to stop. Just stop. And so she knew she could get away with it.
Like
yes, I had to literally. It was hand gestures and eyes and everything. But she's very clever. So what she was doing is she would answer the question and swivel, and then answer a question and then swivel. So she was still doing what she was meant to do. But
she sounds like my kind of girl, because that's the sort of thing I do, and that's why you never have the camera on me. No. Totally swiveling on the chair. It is National Day of Fun, people. What would you mark as fun? Have we forgotten to have fun, Imrana? When the older we get, not that you're getting any older, but
I am.
what does fun mean now for a mother of 2, producer, teacher, activist?
God, I don't know. I mean, I guess the nice thing is that I enjoy what I'm doing at the moment, so I find that there is fun in that. Obviously, it can be a bit stressful, but sometimes a bit challenging. But I think it's really important to find those fun, enjoyable moments. But I think actually having children, for me personally, it helps, because it means the times I have forgotten. Right. So yesterday, it was Mother's Day, and the girls were like, we really want to play the monster game, which is literally we just get a blanket, put it over our heads, and we have to just like chase each other. And it's really random, very simple. And as much as I hate that game, actually, I shouldn't say that.
You are like the most lady with so much decorum, right?
Yeah, I have to go around going,
she's so very quiet, she carries herself so well, so elegantly, and so composed.
I'm a mini monster
running around with a blanket over her head, pretending to be a monster.
Yeah, that's me.
That's an image.
Yeah,
I'm not gonna get out
probably
of my head.
Probably not the best one, but yeah. So
love it.
But yeah, and I guess just generally, I guess that's what the point being, because of children, you have to kind of be that playful, and whether it's going to the park. I mean, yesterday we actually went to play crazy golf with the girls, and so it was really nice. I think it's just moments, I think.
And those moments make memories.
Exactly.
And those memories are what, are absolutely precious. And it's the small little things that children seem to keep hold of when they get older. And it's those and they're so priceless, mashallah. And there is a lot of research suggesting that, young people don't know, or children don't know how to play anymore because of and it's all, they're not given normal playthings as in what we had as growing up. That could be just like a hula hoop or a skipping rope or just, stones and sticks or going out in open space. But because they're being handed gadgets and not able to use imagination as much. And your thoughts on that, Imrana, as an educationalist?
I think it's true. The fact that because of technology where, obviously there's pros and cons to everything, but definitely that's the challenge of this generation, this idea that there's been so much technological advancement, but how we use it in a way which is balanced and moderate. So, my girl, we have an iPad at home, we have obviously a TV and stuff like that. So it's about how do we manage all of this? And to be honest, I think where the struggle lies is actually me, myself as an adult. Right. So I, for example, whether it's for work or because of work, I'm on social media trying to plug events, etc. My girls see me a lot, I think, on screen or, having screen time. And then it's very hard for me then to say and turn around to them, actually, you've been there now, you've had 15 minutes, you've had 20, because then they'll be like, oh, but you already had so much screen time on me. And I literally cannot say anything, I can, but I have to frame it in a way where I'm trying to, just explain to them the benefit of, you can have a bit of fun on screen, but actually, especially now when the weather's getting better, it's so much easier just to tell them, look, go on your bike and go into the garden and play this and play that.
So it's us as adults need re-educating and how to monitor that, especially if we're working parents as well, because work doesn't seem to stop. No. And especially if you're freelance and you're self-employed, even more so. Yeah. So do you think we need to be educated on how to kind of manage our screen time?
Yeah, absolutely. And I think it's a good point about the fact that being freelance means hours are very blurred, so it's not obviously having a normal 9 to 5, and that is a struggle. I think I'm a bit better this year. A couple year ago or so, I was really not managing my time very well. Still at the moment, I stay up maybe quite late, more than maybe I should have, but I don't know whether it's a detox, whether you should just decide, actually, what, today I'm just not going to check my phone, or for the next hour I'm just not going to look at it. Or we need to kind of put those measures in place just to help.
And it does get easier. You've just got to try it, and more so. And I think there might be some counselling classes on how to do that. I'm really seeing that in the future. Folks, the time is 12 minutes past 10 and you're listening to the Urban Kube with me, Shemiza, and my guest Imrana Mahmood, who is a local creative producer, teacher, mother, educationalist, and the voice behind the show, the Book Club Show, which happens every Tuesday fortnightly. And we're talking to Imrana this morning about everything and anything under the roof of the Inspire FM studio today, because we're also going to be talking about her about Echoes of Diaspora. This is a very, very exciting project produced, created and directed by Imrana Mahmood, and it aims to enrich the collective understanding of the UK's diverse communities through a specific focus on the story of Muslim women, celebrated in a theatrical context through live performance, including poetry, monologue and film. Exciting stuff. Now, this is going to be happening this week, I believe.
Yes, that's right. So we've got 2 events. They're the same, but the idea was just to have give a platform really to a more of a community venue, and then something which is just to make sure everything's all accessible, really. So the first will be on Thursday evening from 6 to 7 p.m. at Borough Park Community Centre, and the second is going to be on Friday evening from 7 to 8 p.m. at the University of Bedfordshire at the G101 Theatre. So the idea really is that you can book your tickets, so they're really, really cheap, only £3 plus a small booking fee, and you can book your tickets on echoesluton.eventbrite.co.uk. But so that's how, and I'm just hoping you can come along, because I think from where the project arose was through my work, and especially because I'm a big advocate for women-only spaces. And obviously I had put together Qalam, which was a creative writing collective through the Fry Starter programme at Revolution Arts. And that was open for women from all backgrounds, faiths and cultures. But it was kind of through some of the work that I'd done, where there were Muslim women primarily of all ages were saying to me, that every time we are approached by people to talk about something, it's always either got to do with the hijab, or it's got to do with some form of extremism, or jihadi brides, and all these kind of negative, almost very simplified versions of who we really are. So I thought, well, actually, what are the stories that as Muslim women we want to tell? Because we are always spoken about and rarely spoken to, and people only want to ever listen to us in a certain context. So it was about me saying that actually, if I have an opportunity and I've got a little bit of experience, but I can put something together, what I want to do then is say to all the Muslim women that I know or who want to get involved, okay, what are the stories that you want to tell? And this is with me without a pre-agenda. I'm not coming to you to saying I want you to tell a story about this.
And was it easier because you are in a hijab, you are a local, you are a mother, you're, and they recognise you and trust you? Did that make it easier for them to kind of reach out to you?
Yeah, I mean, in some ways, I think it did. I think initially the idea and the support that I got was definitely because obviously I'm sharing the same lived experience. So that was definitely a good thing. It was, which made it maybe a little bit more organic in the way things that happened. But by the same token, I was not trying to work with who you would say like the usual suspects. So it wasn't the idea that, okay, if you're interested in creative writing, then come along. It was more like, actually, I want to just hear your stories. Right. And then it was about saying to them, okay, now do you want to actually share them yourself? Okay, so because I could have gone in and said, right, give me your stories, I'm going to now produce something, get some actors in, and we're just going to put on a big show. But it's actually, no, but these are your words, these are your stories, these are your experiences. Can I help you gain the confidence to be able to stand in front of a room of people and share your work? And and that, I think,
was the biggest challenge?
Definitely. I mean, I was hoping maybe a couple of ladies would have been able to come today, but they weren't available. But
could we get them over the phone?
I don't know. We could try it. We could try it. We'll try something on with the break.
Hopefully they're listening in, inshallah. But who can we expect to be showcasing their work? Are you able to mention their names?
I'm sure a couple of them wouldn't mind. So I mean, some of the listeners might already know Rahana Faisal, who's part of obviously the chair of Lantern.
Now, I'm quite intrigued to hear what Rahana Faisal's story will be, because she's quite, she's a very vocal, articulate woman that really stands for her rights and believes, and nothing can sway this woman.
Working with Rahana has been absolutely awesome. And I think that's what it is, because as somebody who's she's an activist in her own right. Yes. And the work that she does,
so
and the
articulate.
things that she says. And I think it's kind of like, for me, the kind of say, actually, you know what, Rahana, what would you like to say for once, without kind of, and the expectation that you need to speak for kind of this organisation or this, and so she's written something really, really powerful, and I think it will be.
And to see her in a creative sense.
Yeah, she says it herself.
Exciting.
I know she'd put, I think it was a tweet or something out saying, I've really pushed myself a little bit out of my comfort zone. So I think we've all actually felt like that through this process. So she's somebody
I would be really quite fascinated to observe.
I think a lot of,
and the reason being is because it's actually taking her out of a comfort zone, but allowing her to express herself in a creative way. So whatever that's going to be, what she's going to say is going to be quite engaging and inspiring. So that's Rahana Faisal, one of the stars of Echoes of Diaspora.
Yeah, definitely. And who else can I probably mention? I don't know, actually. I'm thinking, for example, there's Hasna Weaver. So she's, a lot of people might know her in the community. So she's kind of her own kind of startup business at the moment in terms of selling kind of skincare products and things like that. And so she's, I know her kind of personally from before, where she does write poetry. A lot of it's kind of through, I guess, the process which all of us use, almost like a way of healing, a way of kind of therapy and things like that. So she's written a short one, which I think will be great. And this idea that we've got a couple of films, well, I say films, so with me, some people might know I also work as a community activist for Revolution Arts. So through my work with Revolution, because there's a big focus on Bury Park and
new audiences.
The audiences in Bury Park, and the fact that we want to do a residency there. And part of that is how do I, in my role for Revolution Arts, start a conversation in that area. an area which, to be honest, is always at two extremes. It's either, for example, labelled as a no-go zone, or a place that, for example, white people can't walk through, or the other extreme is where we exoticize it and it becomes a thing of, oh, look, all the colours and the food and this and that. It's actually about me saying, look, Bury Park is an area like any other area on this planet, and how do I now start a conversation in a way where I'm talking about my experiences of people that maybe share that. But yes, I've been working with a Luton-based filmmaker, Lydia Howe, and we've created a spoken word film. So that will actually be screened at the Echoes event. So
fantastic! Well. And Lydia has a reputation
she's awesome.
of being extraordinary in her output, and the fact that it's quite a women-led project. It seems to be was that deliberate?
Absolutely, 100%. I mean, one of, for example, again, challenges when I first started out the project was I really wanted to be just to work with a female-led creative team. For this one, because I'm taking more of a directorial route, I guess. I wanted somebody to come on as my producer. Yeah. So that kind of search was like, I really want to work ideally with someone South Asian, obviously a woman, someone who's just really kind of on the ball. And
that reminds me of somebody. Yeah, sounds like somebody I know.
I know it's because you do know her.
But who could that possibly be?
I know. So it's a big shout out to Jiti Maraha, because she's actually pretty amazing. Oh, amazing! Yeah, and just to be able to have her on board. In the capacity that she's in has been fantastic.
And also the sensitivities. She's very, very clued up with Bury Park, the good, the bad and the ugly. And she's so very, very conscious of what works and what doesn't in the town, with over 20 years of experience.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
In events management. Am I plugging her?
Yeah, actually. I'm always getting jealous.
Much love for Jiti. Can we just say that? And she's had quite, I had the pleasure of meeting Jiti at downstairs, Dallas Community Centre, many years ago.
Cool.
So it's wonderful to see her rise and blossom and engage with yourself, Imrana.
Yeah, no,
I never imagined that would happen, but it has. And I just love the crossovers.
Right? Yeah.
How are you feeling about all these crossovers across the town? Because Luton is kind of, we're seeing this new phase in Luton emerging, where we are kind of paving its way to becoming a city of culture. And we're going to be talking about that as part of a project called People, Power and Passion with the outreach worker, Moriam Grillo, another remarkable lady who's been a guest on the show to share with us a little bit more about what that possibly entails, what it means for the folk of Luton, and how our members of our town can get involved and engage. That's People, Power and Passion. I'll be talking to Moriam after 10:35 about that. In the studio, folks, it's myself, Shemiza, and the very, very awesome Imrana Mahmood. It's 10:22 and it's the 1st of April. It's the first day of the week, people. 1st of April. Goodness me, time is flying.
I know.
I'm having a bit of a sigh. I'm sighing. The reason why I'm sighing, it's also National Day of Fun. I'm having loads of fun. Are you having fun?
Yeah, it's always fun to be on the Urban Cube.
Oh, I love that.
You should have the Urban Cube's, I don't know, #fun something.
Okay. Look at you getting all marketing savvy. No, give her a bit of a job now. She's like this cultural producer and she's already telling me how to market my show. What is going on? But I love it. People, that's a great link. Okay, you can hashtag the Urban Cube, #fun. And tell me, what does fun mean to you? What does it mean to you? Do you, when you get hit a certain age, are you less inclined to do fun stuff? Fun for me is just sitting there with a cup of coffee, staring at a wall. Honestly, that's just complete child-free room. That is fun. That seriously is fun, believe it or not. Things that I would not appreciate, like nap time when you were little, and you would never have nap time. But nap time now for a grown-up adult person is fun.
Yeah.
Anything else, Imrana?
Anything else? Oh, on top of napping? God, I don't know. No, I think you're right. I think just being able to have a cup of tea in silence is... It's quite good, but no, I don't know. But to be honest, I think as a family we are kind of quite we like to be out and about. So whether it's going for a hike or I mean, like I said, obviously we were at Crazy Golf yesterday. I mean, I really like those kind of things. So if someone said to me, okay, what's is those simple things like, you know, going bowling or
kite
I kind of just kind of
kite
oh my God,
flying.
Dunstable Downs is literally around the corner.
Awesome.
And you know, I love that place. Just to be able to go out and just an open space and
See, my children roll down the hills.
Yeah.
You know, we just
Yeah.
I just push them down. Come back if you need to. Okie doke. No, I am like safeguarding and everything.
Yeah, of
I know
course.
how to look after my children, people. Please don't get worried. I don't want any complaints. But that's fun, you know, getting in there in the mud.
Yeah.
Getting yourself all dirty.
Well, yeah.
That's what my children find
exactly,
fun.
yeah. And then
Mama Bear doesn't,
no.
but they do. But they're the little memories. Now, folks, we're heading off to a break. And after the break, I'm still joined by the very awesome Imrana. We're talking Echoes of the Diaspora. And inshallah, People, Power and Passion with Moriam Grillo as well. And we're going to find out the results of the Colour Fun Run. That's a lot of fun, isn't it? Colour Fun Run. That was held at Warden Park at the weekend with the aim of raising money for the Luton Food Bank. So we'll be finding out from Brother Tariq all about the Colour Fun Run. So don't go away, grab yourself a cuppa and maybe a biscuit or two and join me straight back after this. Assalamu alaikum.
Are you an avid bookworm? Or maybe you love books but just struggle to find the time to read? Then you need to tune into the Book Club Show on Inspire FM with Sister Imrana, where we'll be discussing a fab selection of books with special studio guests. Join us every Tuesday morning from 10 till 11 to inspire imagination and rekindle your love for reading. Don't forget the Book Club Show every Tuesday morning 10 till 11 on your very own Inspire 105.1 FM.
Catch a creative vibe on the Urban Kube with Sister Shemiza.
Good morning and assalamu alaikum. It is 10:30, Monday, 1st of April, and you're listening to the Urban Kube with me, Shemiza, and on Inspire FM. The repeat of the show this evening, as it is 8 p.m, we are Facebook Live. However, the camera is only on the one guest, and it's a face that you will recognise and a voice that you will be familiar with. It is the very, very awesome Imrana Mahmood. She's joining me in the studio this morning, keeping me great company, inspired and engaged, and I'm sure she is also inspiring you with a wonderful, wonderful new project she's showcasing in Luton, which is actually celebrating the voices of British Muslim women from our town of Luton, mashallah. It is called Echoes of the Diaspora, and it's basically a collective of monologues of Muslim women sharing the stories that they wish to share. Congratulations and welcome to the show, Imrana.
Thank you for having me on.
And we're going to be finding out a little bit more about this project, as well as how people can actually come down and check it out. Today is also National Fun Day, so I'm sure it's going to be quite a lot of fun going down to see this event. And the question I ask you guys this morning is, fun, what does it mean to you? Is there a cutoff point to how much fun you should have at a certain age? That's a bit of a bizarre question to ask, but then you can help me answer it. Should work be fun? And if work isn't fun, do you think it's time to leave? I've been thinking about that for quite a while, and it's kind of like the older I'm getting, the more I'm wanting to be in a profession that kind of really like motivates me and makes me want to get out of bed and go to work. I'm quite blessed in certain areas of work as a freelance artist that, alhamdulillah, work is always fun. But do you think it's really important, Imrana, that that an element of fun should be in your working environment?
Yeah, no, definitely. I think, I mean, my background originally is in teaching, so I'm a teacher. And that, again, I mean, it was something that I enjoyed. I did find it fun in the sense that all the study that I'd done, you know, in terms of my schooling, in terms of my degree and my PhD, I really wanted to get out there and kind of share that knowledge with young people. And science is, for example, a subject that was really fun for me, especially when it came to more practical work. But I think what probably happened over the years is, in terms of teaching, you know, it's a really, really tough job. So, you know, big shout out to all the teachers out there. it's not even just the bureaucracy. I think it's the expectations that actually we have now in terms of the government and Ofsted and things like that on teachers is really kind of pretty intense. So that for me started taking the fun element a bit out of it. So whereas I'm still passionate about working with young people, I think just being in that environment, especially once I was married and had children, it was like, how do I balance all this kind of stress in terms of the work and marking and all this extra time with then juggling kind of home life. So I think I had to basically take a bit of a step back. And then when I came into, the arts is something that I've always, I think, been interested in anything kind of creative subjects and creative kind of events and things like that. And to be able to kind of, alhamdulillah, kind of fall into this side of it, where I still get to work with young people, I still get to do all the things that make me feel kind of more whole, I think means that I do find things fun. So even though it is tough and, the hours can be pretty crazy, I think, because it's something that I love, I'm able to just kind of get through it and enjoy what I'm doing.
How do you feel when people ask you, so what do you do? And then they say, oh, that must be loads of fun. And do you want to kind of challenge that perception? Because this is the other side, that it's not just fun. There's a lot of work as well that we do. We're not painting and drawing all the time. There is more to this then, because arts management is quite a tough industry as well, and it is quite competitive. So I don't want to brush over the fact that it is quite a tough job as well.
No, absolutely. Again, this idea of working freelance, so a lot of the work I do, or many people in my position, whether it's artists or producers, a lot of the work actually comes from, it's almost project based, which means you are going out there and applying for funding yourself. You might spend weeks working on a really big application, and in the end you just won't get it, and you wouldn't have been selected, so that is, or you'll end up having a lot of coffee meetings with people, and that time is because you need to network, you need to connect, but that time is not paid. So but the thing is, that is not to put anybody off, but I think it's just the kind of looking at things very realistically, that's where you really need to be proactive, and you really need to make sure that you know exactly what you want to do. And again, just like I guess I mentioned before, when you are in the arts and you're working with communities specifically, not to go in with a pre-agenda. You really need to listen to what's out there and what's needed. And then hopefully, so you can kind of produce something, but it'll actually bring benefit to the community in which you live.
What benefits are you hoping will be brought about with Echoes of the Diaspora, this project that you have directed and produced?
With Echoes of the Diaspora, I know a few people have kind of not maybe, they asked me, okay, what does diaspora actually mean? And it's literally kind of just the dispersion of people, the spread of people. And this idea is that actually, for me specifically, for example, as a Muslim woman of Pakistani heritage, I am part of the Pakistani diaspora. So my parents' parents, obviously they're from Pakistan. They've obviously immigrated to this country. They had their experiences. What have been my experiences as somebody who's basically visibly Muslim, obviously now, for quite a few years and living in this country, and what are my stories, and how does my history and my heritage kind of play into that? And that's the idea that it's been amazing to work with intergenerational group of women as well. So I've worked with a group of young women from Chorley High School for girls, and then obviously a slightly older group who have been associated with Lantern. So to bring the stories of two or a spectrum of age groups has been really interesting. And
that's quite remarkable.
Yeah, and I think what will be amazing this week, that both groups are going to come together and rehearse together. They're going to then finally, so they all know about each other's stories.
Yes.
But the idea they're going to be in one space and performing, and just, I think we don't see enough of that.
Is there any interlinks between these stories? Is there a connective from the intergenerations here? Because you've got the very young who would be from the ages of, say, under 16.
Yes.
And then obviously the older ladies are over 16.
Yes.
But do they have a common ground?
Yeah, and I think that one thing that brings them together is the fact that they identify as Muslim and they're from the same faith, and the experiences and I think what's interesting is the experiences that the younger girls are kind of going through now the older women have been through.
Yes.
So it's interesting actually to see how those struggles are almost still similar. So whether it's the struggles with parents or with how society judges us. And so there's definitely a common theme in I think the experiences that they're sharing, but obviously completely different kind of context.
And these experiences, so much more can be learned from this beyond this project, it seems. So what is going to happen after the Echoes of Diaspora has done its show?
I mean, the overarching thing was always this idea that actually, as Muslim women, we're always, at the moment, especially in the media, always looked at in the same way, through the same lens. So the idea is really to kind of start changing those perceptions, and I'd be careful in saying it's not about breaking stereotypes, because again, that's problematic. We're always framed that as Muslim women everything we do is suddenly breaking a stereotype. It's actually me trying to say we're all a bunch of Muslim women who are quite normal,
just doing our thing.
Exactly, we should be allowed to be a bit
Just
boring and mediocre. Like, we don't have to, everything that we do need to be something
and there's always
amazing.
seems to be a pocket of funding to like break this stereotype, which gets so testing.
Exactly.
So yeah, I'm going to move on with this conversation.
Yeah.
And let's talk about fun things.
Yeah.
It is great fun that you're doing, and it's absolutely wonderful. But the whole process getting there was quite a timely one. Yeah. You did talk about an application that had to be put in, which was not an easy process. How long did that application take? Because I think a lot of people, and I think it's quite educational as well to kind of inform folk that are listening in who are interested in maybe tapping into Arts Council funding, because it's an Arts Council funded project. And what is that exactly?
In terms of Arts Council, so Arts Council obviously is a huge body that funds basically creative and arts projects in the UK. So that's the one body that actually funds individuals, whereas other funding you have to be part of an organisation and stuff. But I think what strengthens the application is if you have backing of partners. So whether it's, so for example, on my project I have a Revolution Arts as a partner, Luton Culture as a partner, 1 Degree East. And as well as that, just to make sure that actually you have the right people on board. So like I mentioned, Jitty is, for example, my producer. I've been working with consultants. So for example, Health Theatre, they came on to give a bit of creative support with for example, the girls at Chorney. I will then hoping to have Alia Zugbi, who's going to be coming in just to kind of more kind of a mentoring capacity for me to learn a bit more about directing.
And she's absolutely remarkable, award-winning. She was the lady behind the British Museum's launch of the new Muslim art gallery. So you've got some remarkable people. I love the fact that you've kept it local as well. You've actually engaged with local artists within Luton to kind of make this project happen, because you find that sometimes we're kind of focused on external partners and not really concentrating on who we have within our town to strengthen a project.
Yeah, and I think we always overlook that, and that's we need to stop doing that actually as a town. We do need, obviously, I still believe that we do need kind of a creative guidance from outside. There's no harm in that, but I think ultimately we need to be really supporting our own. And so an example there is for example, I've had support from Sudha Butcher, so to do, because again, I'm myself on a journey through this work. So whereas obviously the ladies are kind of maybe very new to writing, whereas I do a lot of poetry, for me, being able to say, okay, I really like to write a monologue. So I had that kind of creative support from Sudha has been absolutely amazing, and again, that's an opportunity for me to kind of showcase something that I've written in a completely different context. I'm not used to it. And
Sudha Butcher has a remarkable biog of some mainstream and international work as well. So I love the fact that you're kind of like, connecting with people that, maybe 20 years ago, would you have ever thought that you'd be kind of like working alongside somebody like that?
No, it's crazy.
So anything is possible. But you've had an interesting journey. This does that. Do you remember This Is Your Life, the program?
Yes. Why?
This is like Imrana's This Is Your Life.
No, I don't think.
No,
hardly.
Imrana,
it's not interesting
going back 20 years ago. But it's been a very interesting process. You've done it steadily. You've kind of like, layered. You've gone up the stepping stones. You've not jumped into this. You've really kind of like taken a lot of thought, connected with the right people, and do you feel a lot more kind of like your feet are more firmer on the ground, maybe say a year ago when you first began?
Yeah, no, definitely. I mean, because the first round, the first time making funding applications, the first time I did everything was a first. Everything I was doing, I was learning as I was going along. Whereas this time, I guess I've got that experience, which really, really helps. But coming back to the question about, for example, the Arts Council application itself, with support, it can take 4 to 6 weeks, even longer.
Yeah.
And then, waiting to hear back. Did you get it? Did you get it? And then obviously, then the actual kind of the nitty gritty and actually getting down to it. And as an arts producer, well, I mean, I prefer the term creative producer, but that you kind of are really involved with every kind of step of the way. So it's not just about bringing people in. I like to be part of that creative process, and I like to be able to know that actually I've got the right artists on board, I've got the right connections, everybody that I'm working with, they have the right support, that they're getting the right mentoring. And then through that, obviously the good thing about Arts Council is being able to actually develop myself professionally as well. So, there's a lot of benefit in it.
Folks, if you've tuned in, you are listening to myself, Shemiza, and the very, very fabulous Imrana Mahmood. And we've been talking about tips, advice and guidance in kind of building a project from scratch, and funding as well with funding bodies like the Arts Council. The reason why we're having this conversation is because Imrana, mashallah, is now showcasing her project Echoes of the Diaspora, which is a selection of monologues by Muslim women locally, and it's going to be showcased in a theatrical piece. And also this includes a celebration through live performance and poetry and film. Now, this is a wonderful, wonderful project that I hope you guys get the opportunity to kind of see. It's happening this week. I'm absolutely excited myself to go and check this out, and because I really, really feel that it's going to create a real marker in the town, because we've seen projects that have happened sort of at a stage, but this is kind of taking it to the next level, where Muslim women in our town who don't have artistic creative backgrounds are being given that platform to share their stories. And what are those stories? These are stories that they've actually taken ownership of without any agenda, just to be able to reflect who they are from the core, which is really, really exciting stuff. Imrana is in the studio this morning. If you have any questions and you want to find out a little bit more about these projects, then or anything that she's involved with, then do please get in touch with Imrana. How can you get in touch, Imrana, regarding this event? When is this event going to be? When is it available to actually purchase tickets from? Is it ticketed?
Yes, it is ticketed. I mean, it's only £3, but you can book tickets online on echoesluton.eventbrite.co.uk, and you can actually also pay in the door. It'll be £5 at the door, but you can just, that means, we just want to make it kind of simpler for those who maybe aren't able to book online, or maybe they kind of decide quite last minute. But you can pop along the event. There are 2 events which are the same. So it's Thursday from 6 to 7 p.m. at Bury Park Community Centre, and then there is 7 to 8 p.m. at the University of Bedfordshire. So there's both events, but yeah, it's online. It's live at the moment on Eventbrite.
Fantastic. Great things happening across the town. Now, we're going to be catching up with Imrana regarding other events happening through Revolution Arts as well, because there's so much going on. This is going to be one crazy summer across the town, inshallah, where there's going to be opportunities for you guys listening in to get involved as well. Folks, you are listening to the Urban Kube. It is 10:46 with myself, Shemiza, on the show this morning. The repeat of the show is 8 p.m. this evening. We are Facebook Live. We're also Spotify and iTunes. You cannot miss the show wherever you are. But it'd be nice to know where you're listening in from, people. So do tell us. Are you doing anything fun? Are you doing anything fun today? I'm sure it's fun listening into the show this morning. I'm sure it is. Do tell us. We'd love to know. And also, is your job full of fun? Do you enjoy your work? There is lots of research suggesting that more and more people are actually being impacted by anxiety because they don't like the job that they're in, and it really is affecting their mental health. So we're going to be talking a little bit more about mental health and work balance a little later on in the show. I'm also going to be joined by another fantastic guest who can actually help kind of identify sort of therapy and good work balance, because it's no other than Moriam Grillo, who is an art therapist. She's also a photographer, ceramic artist, a broadcaster, and she's part of another exciting project that's happening in Luton, which is called People, Power and Passion. This is a project which is quite a wide project. It's spanning over a good 4 to 5 months across Luton, starting in June and finishing in September, with 6 different projects overall across the town, engaging the young, the old, men, women, employed, unemployed, the youth, everybody and anybody across the town of Luton to get involved. So we'll be finding out from Moriam a little bit more about that. But I understand, Imrana, you're going to be involved with this as well. Is there anything in the town that you're not involved with, young lady?
I know. It's so fun. My job's so fun.
Fun.
So with Revolution, we are co-commissioning the August project for People, Power, Passion, and we've got an amazing team on board. So the lead artist is Marcus Roma, who's kind of a big theatre, powerhouse, I guess is a right
guru.
Term. Yeah, basically. And he's again got a great team of writers, and again, a diverse kind of team, which always is so important. But we're really excited about that as a Revolution team to be on board, and we had like a big kind of R&D day just a couple of weeks ago. So the whole, actually all the artists from People, Power, Passion were together, and we were just doing loads of different activities.
It looked fun.
Yeah, it was.
It really was
fun. It actually was.
They had pictures to prove it.
Yes, exactly. And but again, it's so important. I think that's where sometimes in a lot of the work that we do, we kind of forget that we need to, even as artists, get to know each other before, because we're always banging on, oh yeah, but we need to get to know so and so in this community and that community. But actually, what about us as a team? You need to kind of gel together really well.
And that's what makes a healthy work environment. And that's where, and if it's a healthy work environment, then you want to come to work. And there's so many people that are kind of feeling quite dismayed with their working life, because they just don't feel engaged, or they don't even know who their colleagues are.
No, exactly. And I think what's important, again, because some of these artists are outside of Luton, and obviously the project that we're co-commissioning is called Justice 39, and obviously the whole People, Power, Passion, obviously Moriam probably will talk about it, is commemorating the 1919 Peace Day, the riots that took place in Luton. So through this, it's just going to be an amazing body of work. So all the projects, it's amazing artists working together, but we're just glad as Revolution to be a small part of that, and that'll be happening in August.
So lots of stuff going on. It's going to be totally buzzing across Luton. But just before then, we've got Echoes of Diaspora happening. So that's something that gives you a bit of a taster of what Imrana is all about. And this is her work. I had the pleasure of seeing, a year ago when you did your other project. Was it a year or 2 years ago? How long was it ago?
So not last December before that. So what is that? I don't even know. It's been a while ago.
It's been a while. So this is another one that I'm really, really looking forward to engaging with. So what can we actually expect on the night?
For Echoes?
Yeah.
So there's going to be basically a body of work in terms of monologue. So monologue is basically a kind of speech given by a character in a play or a film, where they just have a moment to themselves where they're then sharing a story or a narration or something like that. So that's kind of a monologue. So some of the ladies have written pieces like that, but they're also then there's poetry. So I again was keeping the remit quite open. It wasn't that you have to do a monologue or you have to do a poem. It was whatever the group was comfortable in terms of their writing. So some naturally gravitated towards doing a poem. Others were like, actually, I want to do more of a speech. And then obviously I said that there's going to be a spoken word film. So yeah, and they kind of touch on different things and different aspects of being, I guess, a Muslim woman. Where one of the ladies, she's talking about feeling very discriminated against, where she's she's educated but not able to get a job. Because basically it's evident it's because of the way she looks, in terms of the way she dresses. I mean, as a visibly Muslim woman. Somebody else is talking about the idea that actually being a professional but then being perceived by others as the fact that you can speak English, and people being shocked even though you've got a degree, and so it's that kind of perception. The girls actually, the Chorney girls, they've got some really interesting stories. So one of them, for example, is dealing with this idea that one of the characters, she wants to go to London to university to study, but her dad particularly is against it. And it's like, okay, how do we kind of explore those challenges for young women?
Are you hoping to see their families in the audience?
I would love to see their families in the audience. I mean, I have obviously said to the school that you should really, really plug it with the school. But I guess this is where, again, the challenge lies, where as, we are, all from working class backgrounds. We, as in parents, they're probably both working. If they're not working, one might be working, other might have younger children at home. And it's like, okay, how, as much as I've tried to make it accessible. So I'm hoping, even if they can't make it to the evening event, we're actually having a daytime event at the school. So the girls will actually be performing to their year group.
Oh, wonderful.
And again, hopefully the parents can come in and see that.
Now, accessibility and theatre is something that it can be quite challenging, because theatre seems to be one group of people are quite predominantly sat as an audience. And as a mother with young children, I always found it quite difficult to kind of go to a theatre production, even though I love theatre, because of childcare issues. Have you taken that into consideration, and would you think that's one of the barriers to attending performances in theatre?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I've been through it myself, and actually even to some of the people that I was sharing the event with, I said, look, if you feel that actually you really want to come, but you will need childcare, then please to let me know, and then I can try to arrange that child, as in a crash or something. But again, that obviously comes with challenges itself, because then you've got to make sure you've got, in terms of safeguarding, health and safety, and then, what age groups, how big, how small. And I have to say, even actually when I did the film club, I did a film club events earlier on, last year, and actually a creche was available. But it was interesting that there wasn't much take up. Right. But again, that was because I had to put an age limit on it, so I couldn't have younger babies. Okay. But, and so there's all these things to navigate, but, it's something I try.
If you've got any questions, people, to Imrana, please do WhatsApp us on 07779481822 regarding this event. We'll be catching up with Imrana and hopefully Moriam after the break as well. And we're going to be finding out how spring cleaning can be actually considered as fun. So I've had somebody WhatsApp in saying that they find cleaning fun. Thank you, Taiba, for doing that. And wow, spring cleaning, fun. Can you associate the two together? Imrana, I'd love to find out your spring cleaning tips. Spring is in the air. It's April the 1st. Today is National Day of the Fun. We're also going to be finding out about the results of the Colour Fun Run that happened at Warden Park, a beautiful location. It was a gorgeous weekend, and it was bursting with colour. Absolutely gorgeous. I saw the pictures. I didn't go down myself, but we're going to be finding out from Brother Tariq all about that. Now, this is the Urban Kube. We're heading off to a break. After the break, we're having more creative conversations with fabulous guests. So join me straight after this. Assalamu alaikum.
You're listening to an Inspire FM podcast, making available our popular programs from our daily broadcast on Inspire FM.
Catch a creative vibe on the Urban Kube with Sister Shemiza.
Good morning, and assalamu alaikum. It's 11 o'clock. It's 1st of April, Monday, and it feels like spring. It really does. Absolutely luscious outside. How are you this morning, folks? I hope you've had a fantastic weekend and whatever you're doing, and I hope mums, aunts, grannies, carers, anybody and everybody celebrating Mother's Day was super, super spoiled. Yes, Mother's Day should be every day Islamically, but alhamdulillah, sometimes some people need reminding, and it doesn't matter because we love a little bit of being spoilt. Mashallah, we love to be spoilt as mums. Ask us, we totally do. I had a wonderful weekend with my blobs. Thank you to my darling son who treated me to a lovely takeaway meal. So I had chicken chow mein. I also had faluda.
Falooda's gorgeous.
Falooda is yum.
That's great.
And mojito. He got me a mojito too, and he pronounced it as mojito, but that's fine. That is totally fine. We're rocking with that. A few cookies. The children baked me something, and the best part of it all, they tried to clean the house. Yay! Oh my goodness, spring cleaning. Yeah, we're going to be talking about tips for spring cleaning because somebody contacted me and said they found it fun. I wonder if my guest on over the phone, we've got Imrana in the studio. We're going to be catching up with Imrana, but we've got Moriam Grillo over the phone, whether she finds cleaning fun. Assalamu alaikum, Moriam.
Alaikum salam, Shemiza. Thank you. I'm so sorry I couldn't make it with you in the studio today, but lovely speaking with you on the phone.
Oh, you know, it's always fun speaking to you in the studio or over the phone or even in public, because today is National Day of Fun, and now you're bringing fun back into the work world through this very exciting project called People, Power and Passion. Tell us more.
Yes, fantastic. So it's obviously part of the pilot year of culture for Luton, but unfortunately most people don't know that. So yes, 2019 is the pilot year of culture for Luton Town. It's part of the bid for City of Culture in 2025. So this year, from June through to October, we will have lots of amazing arts events for all members of the Luton community to take part in. So it's going to be a really fabulous time. And there's a children's peace party in particular that's taking place in September. And we've got some other things happening in June, July and August. July and August are going to be mega busy, so don't go on holiday. Stay Luton.
Because it's going to be fun. It's National Fun Day, and we are totally sharing all the fun activities that are going to be happening across the following months, inshallah. Now, what's your role in this, Moriam? What are you doing particularly?
So my title is Arts Participation and Engagement Producer. So I'm encouraging people from all walks of life, all ages, all communities, all cultures to take part in the arts. Because sometimes we think it's not for us, but actually it is for us. It's our town, our story, so it's for all of us.
And we're talking about stories. This is something that Imrana is definitely passionate about, making sure that we're sharing our stories, our narratives. So what are these stories that are going to be shared, do you think, as part of People, Power and Passion, Moriam?
Well, I think now it's about the passion of the people, so it's about stories of every day, but today that include all people. The link with 1919 is the Luton Peace Riots, but that was very much about people that felt disenfranchised, people that felt unheard within the town, standing up and actually standing for their rights and saying, actually, we have every right to be here and we have every right to be acknowledged. So these are themes that continue throughout all societies. And so in 2019, that's going to be something that's going to resonate with a lot of people. We've got a lot of hidden groups in Luton, a lot of vulnerable people that don't necessarily get seen, heard, or feel a part of the main. So what we want to do with People, Power and Passion is include everybody, encourage everybody. So we've got projects that are particularly directed towards people that are unemployed or have experienced unemployment, people that have experienced, trauma and difficulties in their life, young people that might feel that misunderstood. So we've got, lots and lots of activities linked in with all people, but we're especially trying to call in people that wouldn't ordinarily engage.
Now, Luton Borough Council is part of this project. So what do you think LBC are hoping to achieve from doing a project like this? Because it sounds massive. Yeah,
it is massive. And I think ultimately it's about, consolidating all nationalities within the town, all people within the town. Because, the multicultural aspect of Luton is amazing. We've got people from all parts of the world that live here. So many languages are spoken here. But often we sort of maintain our kind of presence within our own group, our own circle of people. So this is very much about community cohesion, which I'm really passionate about bringing people together and actually hearing each other, seeing each other, sharing stories so that we can see what kind of unites us more.
And will this be an ongoing thing after the event? Or what's going to happen when we bring all these people together? Are we just going to okay, we've heard your stories, now you can go?
Well, I think let's see this as an introduction. So
okay.
It's an opportunity for people to sort of come together. But also there is a legacy aspect. We've got lead artists that are leading the projects, and we've got associate artists that are Luton-based. We've also got skills and development areas as well. So the young people in the town can develop skills in the arts. So it's not just arts in arts production, but it's also arts planning. So there's, the arts is such a huge industry, but we often think about, the piece of art that's on a plinth or on a wall. We don't think about the planning, the strategy that goes into it. We don't think about the fact that the arts links in with health and well-being, even probation and people that, have been in touch with the law. So these are ways of self-building. There are so many holistic aspects towards the arts. And I think Luton Borough Council sort of using this time to invest in commissions that are arts-based, but are thinking about developing skills, enabling employment, developing people's aspirations, encouraging health and well-being. They're thinking about all of the themes that everybody's affected by. So that's why this is for everybody on every single level.
It sounds tremendous, and it does sound as if we're kind of possibly training our town in preparation for the power plant, because that has had the go-ahead, and there's going to be a lot of there's investment there for the future of regeneration, employment, and the arts and sports landscape is going to be definitely nurtured as well.
Yes, absolutely. So I think Luton is a growing town. I think if we look, we know what's happening at the moment. There are lots of developments, as you mentioned, that are happening. I think in 5 years' time, there's going to be a significant difference in how Luton looks. But to me, what's really important about it is that Luton takes its people with it, and that the people grow and develop and are nurtured in the process and not left behind.
It sounds really, really exciting. I don't know what our listeners are thinking about what you've just said, but it's kind of made me very intrigued and curious and want to be part of this project. So how can people get involved and engaged? How can they contact you if they want to get involved with any of the roles? Because I understand there's 7 job positions out there as part of People, Power and Passion.
There's more than 7. So there are 4 associate artist roles, but there are at least 6 skills and development roles. Then there are lots of volunteering roles as well, and there'll be other roles that will filter out from that. But if you go onto the Luton Borough Council website and put in People Power Passion, or even lutonevents.com, which is the sort of Luton-based events portal, again, but just Google People Power Passion, and there's so much that comes up. I'm on Twitter as @Moriamix, so that might be useful as well. But also I've got my Facebook page, which is Moriam Grillo. So there are definitely ways you can get in touch with me, definitely ways you can get in touch with the council. There'll be leaflets around town as well. But so online or in physical ways, there are ways that people can get in touch.
Fantastic. Moriam, it's been an absolute pleasure for giving us such an insight to what's going on. Super exciting. Something for everybody, but it's about you guys getting involved and finding out more. So People, Power and Passion, that is, just Google that in your search engine thingamabob, and hopefully the information will come up. Moriam, how are you having fun today? It's National Fun Day. What are you doing to keep yourself all fun and motivated?
Well, I'm an art therapist, so today I'll be doing lots of art therapy, which means lots of art making, lots of engagement with people, and just having fun and just making sure that everybody's happy.
Mashallah. Gosh, you know what? You've made me feel happy just by saying that. And what was your weekend like, my darling? Mother's Day, were you spoilt?
Was I spoiled? I think this was a quite interesting Mother's Day because, I didn't get any presents. So I didn't expect any. Well, I did get some presents in the end, actually, but that's probably because I moaned about it. But it was really... really interesting Mother's Day in the sense that sort of I happened to be in the supermarket with 2 of my girls, and they kept on saying, "Mum, do you want that? Mum, would you like that?" And I just thought, this is really interesting because usually, can I have that? Can I have that? Because it's Mother's Day, they asked me if I wanted it.
Oh, that is so cute. That is so cute.
And you had the best Mother's Day.
Oh, mashallah. And an hour forward, I mean, like we've just been cheated, ladies. It's like Mother's Day, and they put the clock forward by an hour. What is that all about? I needed my extra hour of sleep. Do we sleep, ladies?
You could have been a rebel and pretended it didn't happen.
Oh, gosh, not when you have like 6 kids jump on your bed and wake you up. It's not going to happen. It's so not going to happen. My darling, it's been an absolute pleasure having you joining us this morning. And before you go, spring cleaning, yay or nay?
Well, yes, because I think, after being at home in the winter, windows closed, heating on or whatever, it's quite nice to kind of like break out, kind of get rid of stuff that you haven't used for a while. And actually, cleaning is quite therapeutic. It's not my favourite thing to do, don't get me wrong, but I actually like the idea of having a clearer space. So, yeah. Yes.
Decluttering. That's what it's all about. There is like, if you declutter, it really does help you ease a lot of mental chaos in your head as well. Goodness me.
And the energy is different. Once you've cleared a space, the energy flows differently.
Ooh.
Or is it just me?
No, it's not you. I'm feeling that vibe. I'm totally feeling that vibe. If anybody else agrees with that, then you know what to do. It's WhatsApp us on 07779 481 822. Now, Moriam has just talked to us about people, power and passion. This is a massive, big project, really, really bringing the people across Luton together to get involved, to get engaged and get artsy. Let's use art for social action on this project. And Moriam, one more time, I know because you're at work as well, so you need to be heading off. Do tell us, how can people get engaged?
People can get engaged by going on the Luton Borough Council website, looking at lutonevents.com, contacting People Power Passion. There will be some links for communications on there, but they can get in touch with me on Twitter at Moriamix or on Facebook as Moriam Grillo. Thank you so very much, Moriam. Enjoy your day and have lots of fun. Thank you. Enjoy the sunshine. Take care. Thank you. Take care. That was the absolutely wonderful Moriam talking to us about people, power and passion and giving some good advice and tips about spring cleaning, because it kind of like it can declutter your mind. It can also help, and the air moves around the room slightly differently. I like the sound of that. Imrana is still with us in the studio, mashallah, listening in to the conversation with Moriam that we've just had. And Imrana, you are also part of, Revolution Arts is also part of the People, Power and Passion. Listening into what Moriam has just said, it sounds so exciting.
It really, really is. I mean, we are such a good time at the moment in terms of the arts, in terms of the funding, but not even just that, just the kind of whole vision that we have for Luton. And I think this really is an important year in that, and the fact that we're getting the right people on board. We've got a great team. The fact that we're collaborating and we're co-commissioning and all these things, and those always bode well for something really, really positive. So yeah, and it's great to be part of.
I love the fact that she mentioned upskilling.
Oh yeah, it's such an important part of actually what this project is. Yeah,
upskilling, and there is obviously quite a lot of how would I say it? Not paranoia, that's not the right word, where people are feeling slightly disdained, or they're feeling a little bit conscious about the future because of Brexit and work and unemployment, on austerity, and arts would be the last place people would kind of want to feel that a job could possibly upskill them or give them stability. But here we're kind of encouraging unemployed people to come forward. Well, I'm not encouraging, but the project is to kind of change that narrative and bring people together and give them skills, young, old, children, everybody, no, absolutely. And I think that's kind of the key thing here, the fact that the arts, I know a lot of people don't really think the arts, maybe is a career path, but actually it's the fact that, it depends, I guess, what your intention is in terms of what you want to do. And definitely, it's a good time because there is a lot of funding and those positions are in place. So for you to actually say, if I want to be a part of this, you are able to, just apply and actually really get, and the most important thing is actually we all have skills. We might not necessarily see them in the context of the arts, but I mean, using myself as an example, my teaching is actually, and everything I've learned from that is very much a transferable skill, which I've been able to apply in the arts. And, it doesn't, in that regard, it doesn't really matter what you've done previously. You really will be able to use and utilize things that you've learned through any career path that you've maybe already had. And definitely still be able to kind of apply that in this context. So it's a really good opportunity. Fantastic. And this is what Inspire FM is also celebrates as well, upskilling, training. So if you're somebody that is interested in the arts, that you can connect with Imrana, you can connect with Moriam, and if you're interested in radio, then you can connect with Inspire FM, because we are always looking to kind of give folk opportunity with their own show as well. And your show, you've got a great show that comes on. How's your show getting on?
I'm really, really enjoying it. So I mean, a lot of people, the first time I ever came on your show a few years back was actually talk about the Imrana Book Club, which obviously I kind of founded with a friend, and we're now with that club. We're in our 5th year, so in September we're hoping maybe we can do something a bit big and kind of almost like celebrate it. But and it was obviously from that then it and obviously it was your fault really. It was down to you, like, oh, you should do one on the radio, and then but Harry's like, yes, you should.
Is that how my voice sounds?
Okay, no, it doesn't.
Go on, do that again. Do that again.
I'm sorry.
I want it on camera. Go on, imitate me.
I can't.
Go on, then do it.
And then, but so that's a show actually I'm really enjoying on the radio.
Wonderful.
And that's just it. It just comes down to the fact that we just need to encourage each other just to read and gain knowledge. And when I mean knowledge, it doesn't even have to be through something, which is always have to be like a non-fiction book. I'm saying, even fiction, there's so much pleasure in reading. And for example, the book I did the last show on Home Fire by Kamala Shamsi, it's so relevant to everything that's going on at the moment. And it's about starting those conversations and
if you're not going to read the book, then you can hear about the book.
Exactly.
On Imrana's show. The book club show happens every fortnight.
Tuesday mornings,
10 to 11 and you're always looking for guests to join, participants.
Absolutely. If someone's interested in coming, that'd be great.
Wow. Fantastic show, people, not to be missed. Now, we've been talking about everything in the studio, but we're now talking about books are fun. Absolutely fabulous. Reading is fun, but we're talking now over to running. And the Colour Fun Run happened at the weekend. And because we're celebrating National Day of Fun, it's the perfect thing to talk about, I think. Brother Tariq is in the studio. You know the voice, guys. He is part of the Rise and Shine show every day of the week. And he was busy at the weekend participating in the Colour Fun Run. So, Brother Tariq, tell us, the Colour Fun Run, how did it go?
Assalamu alaikum. Alhamdulillah, it was good, so to speak. I wasn't looking forward to it, to be honest.
He never looks forward to anything that means that he has to move his arms and legs, people. But the activities this brother has done, he's gone up hills, ridden all the way to Manchester and run with colour in his face. Can't see his hair, maybe his beard.
Yeah, definitely. It was interesting. To be honest, one of the reasons I wasn't looking forward to this was I've had a bit of a back problem. I had a slipped disc about 3-4 weeks ago.
Oh, goodness me.
So when this challenge initially came out, I was like, nope, I am not doing this. But unfortunately, or fortunately, whichever way you want to look at it, my son looked at it and said, listen, last year he actually took part in the Walk for Gaza, and he did the challenge, but he didn't actually officially do it. He didn't register and stuff. So when he saw this, he said, I want to register and I want to do it, and you're going to do it with me. And I was like, okay, why do I have to do it with you?
I really like that. But, a bit of father and son time.
It was perfect. It was, but apart from the fact that after about the first round, he kind of left me and went off, said, you're too slow, I'm going to go off. But anyhow, alhamdulillah, I think it was a good experience. We did manage to finish it, my dear brother Shakil, and also his little daughter Ruqayya. So she did it with him. We did actually the full 3 rounds, where I'm pretty sure a lot of people didn't. I think I was going to suggest to Sister Salma from Food Bank that she needs to have some sort of a method of verification of how many people have done rounds. Maybe put a stamp on their hands or something. But I don't think that was the kind of
gosh, controversy. Colour Fun Run.
Well, you tell me, okay? We're going around and round the park.
I'll just get dizzy.
People were basically in front of us.
Okay.
When I came round and we finished our second round, and we kind of thought, well, maybe we finished as well, because a lot of people had finished by that time. And we were told, no, you've got a third round to go by. And there was a number of people sitting there, apparently finished, who had not gone past us. How was that possible?
Do you know what? It's called the Colour Fun Run. They were having fun.
Yeah.
Yeah,
they were having fun, but not completing the challenge. So I just hope that they didn't. Because the only thing, and at that point, to be honest, I said to Shakil,
he sounds so grumpy.
No,
you know, this is supposed to be a fun show. You sound grumpy. Switch his mic off. Come on, go back to manning the phones.
We came right at the end and felt like, and the worst thing was they were doing the presentations. They hadn't even waited for us. We were walking around, and the people that were throwing colour had given up, and they'd actually finished. And they said, you know what, we've finished now, because everybody's finished, and we were just still coming around thinking, we're still here, people. So it wasn't a lot of fun.
This is how Luton rolls. You know what? It sounded like a fantastic day. Well done to everybody that participated, mashallah. The
Even
numbers.
for those who didn't do it properly.
Yeah. Yeah, it's only fair.
Never mind.
Yeah.
Imrana, do you want to say anything after? Look at the expressions on his face.
I'm not a runner, to be honest.
But honestly, you're not a runner, but wouldn't there be a situation where if you had signed up to a challenge, you'd do it properly, wouldn't you?
Well, yeah, I probably would.
Exactly.
I said probably. I probably
Yeah,
would.
I think that's fair. But remember, it's called the Colour Fun Run. Fun. People are there to have fun.
Yeah, but it doesn't say
Fun
colour
with
cheat
colour.
run either. Honestly,
Oh,
people.
Am I going to get in trouble for interviewing him?
Probably now. We should have Salma on the phone.
I know
But I
Salma would
think-
be better. Salma, phone in to tell us how it went. We want some positivity on this show because it's all about the fun. But on the turnout of the day was wonderful, wasn't it, Brother Tariq?
It was, to be honest, the weather could not have been better. It was absolutely
Awesome.
amazing. And we had some excellent individual targets as well. Brother Shakil himself was actually running with me. He had a target of £200, ended up raising close to 1,700.
Oh, mashallah.
and
and he
brother-
finished it like all the
And
laps,
he did
yeah?
it properly, alhamdulillah.
Okay.
And our dear brother Bilal.
Tell me about his little boys.
MashaAllah, they actually got the trophy for the highest fundraiser. They actually raised over £2,000. So
Mashallah.
absolutely amazing.
Mashallah. I need to add some money on that, and I really need to interview those boys. I've been watching their campaign. They are the cutest little angels ever. What are their names? Give them a shout out.
Hashim and I can't remember the other one. I do apologise.
Okay, Hashim and your brother, well done.
Yep.
Well done. You were remarkable. So in the holidays, you need to come on the show, and we're gonna interview you, and your dad can join us as well.
And also a quick shout out to the afternoon tea yesterday for the food bank. Again, alhamdulillah, excellent event, excellent turnout. And I'm not sure exactly how much was raised. I think Salma said she was going to send the figures out on social media. But we did an auction yesterday, which I did, and alhamdulillah, we raised, I think, just over £1,700 just on the auction.
Wonderful.
So that was
Mashallah. What
amazing.
was being auctioned? Cup of tea?
No, we had a number of items there. We had a sister who actually does hand making crochets, and she had a voucher for that. There was a sister there who actually had a makeup stall there. She gave a free facial and a free, I think it was a hairdressing service.
Okay.
Unfortunately, that was no good to me. But we also had we had NGS running a one month free boxing for children.
Fantastic.
We had Luton All Stars giving 1 month for free football training. We had, what else was there? There was a Barclays Bank had actually put together a really nice there's about 5 different boxes on top of one another, sweets, and that went for £100. And what they also said was they will actually double the donation as well. So that was £200 coming from there. And what else do we have? There was a sister there who's actually just part of the crowd, and she said, well, I run a makeup, a beauty start place as well, and I'll give you a free facial as well. And I think that went for about £80 as well. So it's just a really nice atmosphere, alhamdulillah.
Absolutely awesome. Well done, everybody that participated and gave their time and energy to what sounded like a fantastic weekend, all in support of the Luton Food Bank. Now, the Luton Food Bank is a charity that we're very, very much endeared to, and we really love sharing the awesome activities that happen, that bring the whole town together.
Yep,
and the
definitely.
Luton Food Bank is a charity that really does need our support always, unfortunately, and the need and demand for that is growing stronger and stronger, unfortunately. Something that we don't want to have to say, but unfortunately that's the reality of our time in the town. But the Colour Fun Run sounded absolutely fantastic. Well done, everybody that participated. We'll just ignore Brother Tariq. For everybody that participated, it's about the participation, mashallah. It was wonderful to see the fact that there were lots of children with their parents running together. I absolutely loved seeing that. The more we see that, I think is a wonderful thing. And I love the fact that children were encouraging their parents to participate, just like Brother Tariq, even though his son ran off and left him on his own because he was too slow. But hey, that's another story. Now, after the break, Brother Tariq, we're going to be talking about giving away 2 tickets to another event. Tell us quickly about that before we head to the break.
Yep, there's a Families Relief charity dinner taking place on Saturday the 13th, so in 2 weeks' time. It's an event for Feed the Fasting, so all the money raised, inshallah, will be to Feed the Fasting in Syria, Gaza and Yemen. Tickets are normally £10 for a 3-course meal, and there'll be 2 tickets available.
And we're going to be giving away 2 tickets, inshallah, straight after the show. On the show.
break.
What's the question, quickly? Do we have a question?
I know, I sent it to you.
Okay, I will read the question and I'll tell you after. So do not go away, guys. We've got 2 tickets to give away to a very worthy event, inshallah, and I'll give you the question after. So whoever contacts us will get those tickets. I'm so not organised this morning. I'm just having loads of fun because it's National Fun Day. We're heading off to a break, inshallah. Catch myself and Imrana talking a little bit more on the Urban Cube. Join me straight after this for a competition giveaway as well. Assalamu alaikum.
Wake up each weekday morning with Brother Tariq, right here on Inspire 105.1 FM.
Hello, sleepyhead.
Rise and shine from 7 till 9 for the latest news and views, local information, weather and regular traffic and travel updates, plus great music.
Hey, this sounds like fun.
Everything to get you up and ready for another bright and beautiful day. That's Brother Tariq's Rise and Shine breakfast show here on Inspire 105.1 FM.
Catch a creative vibe on the Urban Cube with Sister Shemiza.
Good morning, good morning, good morning, and assalamu alaikum. I've got to say that 3 times. It's just a habit now, and it sounds kind of good, right? Would you agree with that, Imrana? It sounds fun.
Yeah, I can do it. Good morning, good morning, good morning. That wasn't as good as you, though.
Really?
No.
Okay,
yours
never
is
mind.
better.
Thank you.
Don't
Thank
try,
you.
don't
You
try.
tried. We're having a bit of fun on the show because it is National Day of Fun, and we had Brother Tariq talking to us about the Colour Fun Run with Luton Food Bank that went down a treat. It was a beautiful, beautiful sunny day in Warden Park, and we had a wonderful turnout of a number of people, some who completed the trek, and others that kind of were quite creative in what they thought should have been the length of the laps, but it was all about having fun, and alhamdulillah, money was raised for the Luton Food Bank. So thank you for everybody that participated on that event, mashallah. Now, we are giving away tickets on this part of the show, mashallah. We're giving 1 pair of tickets to a family relief event, inshallah, and we're also giving away a pair of tickets to the Echoes of the Diaspora, an event which is celebrating the voices of British Muslim women from the heart of Luton town. And to launch that competition is the lady behind the production and of this very exciting event, which is happening on 2 venues in Luton this week. Imrana Mahmood is with me in the studio, mashallah, and I've had lots of fun conversing with her. I've learnt so much about her project, and if there's anything that you've missed, guys, we've got the repeat of the show 8 p.m. this evening, and you can actually scroll back on Facebook Live and catch all the conversation there. Imrana, you are giving away 2 tickets to this event, which is super exciting and I think quite historical for the town too, because it's the first time I'm getting to actually see Muslim women come together from our town actually in a theatre space.
Yeah, no, definitely. I mean, I've been in Luton since 2006, and I myself really haven't had the opportunity to be able to go somewhere and just be in a space where I can really relate to the stories being shared. So I think in that sense, it's definitely really important. The fact that, you know, the ladies I've been working with, obviously a younger group of women from Chorley High School for girls, and then an older group as well. And they're all just sharing stories that are important to them. My overarching theme was, if there was one story you can share with the world, what would it be?
Yeah, and these are not trained professionals. We need to make everybody aware. This is the first time a lot of them have had this platform to do something as extraordinarily big as this. So it's not a small thing, mashallah.
No, exactly. And to me, it's about saying that actually any of us can do that. Mm-hmm. You know, the fact that we can say, I want to share my story, and I hope if someone were to come to me and say that, I'd be happy to give them that platform and say, okay, what, you know, can I do to support you? And that's what this whole journey has been about. But yeah, so we're going to have 2 events this week. So one's on Thursday from 6 to 7 p.m. at Bury Park Community Centre. The second is on Friday from 7 to 8 p.m. At the University of Bedfordshire. So it's just, basically it's about 45 minutes of kind of real kind of content and stories. And then we hope to have a little bit of a Q&A with the ladies as well. So, if anyone has any questions about it, it's kind of just making it a bit more, just more interesting.
Immersive.
Yeah, absolutely, exactly. And also, there'll be light refreshments available afterwards. And, there should be time for a bit of networking, getting to know each other. So it's more of a, it's an event and a project, but more than that, it's just a coming together of people, and it's just that kind of creative space to be in.
It sounds great, and I'm sure listeners are quite curious to kind of be there, and you can make that happen, especially for two people, because you're giving away a pair of tickets to the Echoes of the Diaspora. And what is the question for these tickets to be won? Because we've only got like 20 minutes, so we need to make sure that we get these tickets given away quickly.
Yeah, so the 2 tickets, obviously, whoever does win, you can just choose whether you want the Thursday or the Friday event. The question is, which stories are we showcasing, or whose stories are we showcasing? Is that right? Is that the question?
Whose stories are being showcased at the event, the Echoes of the Diaspora? These are 2 tickets being given away on the Urban Kube this morning. So you need to WhatsApp us on 07779481822 to win a pair of tickets for the showcase, which is happening in 2 venues. So it's Bury Park or Beds University. You need to tell Imrana where you're wanting to go, because obviously we need to put you on the right list. Maybe you want to go to, you want those tickets for seeing it at Bury Park. You might love it, and you want to go to the Bedfordshire University one as well. So, folks, the question one is, whose stories are being showcased at the Echoes of the Diaspora? This has been produced and directed by no other than Imrana Mahmood, and inshallah, it's an event not to be missed. Not to be missed. Now, these are not the only tickets that we're giving away. We're also giving away 2 tickets for a event organised by Family Relief. It's a Family Relief dinner ticket giveaway. Now, just a little bit of information prior, and you need to take note, because the question for this I'm going to be reading is also going to include the answer to the question that's going to be posed to you on the show this morning. So Families Relief Charity is running its Feed the Fasting Ramadan campaign, and they need our help to feed the starving families of Gaza, Syria and Yemen. By the way, folks, did you know that actually coffee came from Yemen in the 17th century, and Yemen was the sole coffee producer in the world until the Europeans smuggled out coffee trees and grew them in their own colonies in the East Indies, East Africa and the West Indies and Latin America. Yemen is quite a fertile land and dates back more than 7,000 years of civilization. One of the first unifying kingdoms of Yemen was the Kingdom of Sheba, made famous by a certain queen and her marriage to Suleiman alayhi salam. Unfortunately, today Yemen has been hit hard by the civil war going on there, leaving many people in need of aid. Now, Family Relief is holding a charity dinner in Dallow Community Centre on Dallow Road on Saturday, April the 13th. And we're encouraging you guys to attend and take your family. Now, the ticket price is £10 for a 3-course meal with guest speakers and a nasheed artist. The event starts at 6 p.m. with imminent arrival of the blessed month of Ramadan. Families Relief would like to help provide essential food items to the poor and needy who will be fasting in seriously tough conditions. They are aiming to give sehri and iftar to 100,000 refugees, mashallah. Now, we on Inspire are actually giving away a number of tickets, but on today's show on the Urban Kube, we're giving away two tickets, and all you need to do is answer the question. And the question is, Yemen's ancient kingdom of Sheba, what was the name of their famous queen who married Prophet Suleiman, peace be upon him, who married, and so the question once again is, what is the name of the famous queen who married Prophet Suleiman? So Yemen's ancient kingdom of Sheba, what's the name of their famous queen who married Prophet Suleiman? Now, this question enables you to win a pair of tickets for the Family Relief dinner ticket giveaway. Okie doke, folks. So that is we've got 2 competitions rolling out on today's show. One for the Family Relief Charity Dinner, which is happening on Saturday, and we've also got 2 tickets to give away for Imrana's event, which is the Echoes of the Diaspora. And the questions for the Echo of Diaspora is whose stories are being showcased at this event? Whose stories are being showcased at the event? And the other ticket giveaway for the Family Relief Charity Dinner is Yemen's ancient kingdom of Sheba. What was the name of their famous queen who married Prophet Suleiman? Okay, gosh, lots of competition giveaways. How much fun is that? That's super, super fun. Today is National Day of Fun, people. And I wanted to ask you about how can you make spring cleaning fun? It is the first day of April and mashallah, you know, I can really feel spring is in the air. So how can you make spring cleaning fun? Spring is kind of a good way of decluttering your home, motivating you to kind of get rid of the old and possibly bring in the new, but really kind of get the dust and grime and all that clutter to give you a little bit more space. And it's kind of links in with mindfulness. We had Moriam Grillo, who's an art therapist, talking to us of how just getting rid of clutter can really kind of have a good impact on your mental health and well-being. Imrana is in the studio with me this morning. I've had an absolute pleasure following her creative journey and following the stories of British Muslim women from Luton who are showcasing at the Echoes of the Diaspora, an event that's happening this week. And I just want to ask you, Imrana, you know, are you motivated in the spring to kind of like, you know, clean, declutter? Because it's kind of, this is like very quite associated with starting out, you know, fresh and new. It's quite, on the British cultural scene, it's quite a traditional thing to do, springtime.
Yeah, no, definitely. I definitely echo what Moriam was saying, this idea that it creates a different energy once you've cleared a space. I think my problem is I will do that in stages. So I start by decluttering, getting rid of things and making my space that I work in a little bit more presentable, workable. But then after a couple of weeks, it goes downhill again. And then I've got to start, and this becomes a bit of a vicious cycle for me. No, I mean, definitely. I think it's great. And actually, I prefer to do it when we're doing it as a family. So I get my girls that, okay, they've got their own kind of space area, right? You sort out your own kind of books and pencils and papers and all of that, you know, stuff they've got completely, you know, I don't want to think about it. But yeah, so
your house is immaculate. Oh my goodness.
I showed it to you on a good day.
It was beautiful. But Ramadan is it's nearing.
That's right.
You know, in a couple of weeks' time, 4 weeks' time. So a bit of a Ramadan countdown is happening, and that's quite a motivator, isn't it? To start spring cleaning, to kind of like, you know, welcome the beautiful month of Ramadan into a clean space. Yeah. Is there anything in particular that you do with your children in preparation for Ramadan? Do you have like a Ramadan countdown calendar? Because I'm noticing new innovative ways of engagement, getting children involved.
Yeah, and it's so important actually, and it comes back to this element of fun. We don't want our religion or any religion to come across as just boring and we're just following rules, because actually it's not that. And I mean, we tend to get, you know, you can actually make little your own advent calendars for Ramadan, but you just get the seed trays, and then you can put sweets in each tray, and then so we tend to create so every day, you know, they can do that. And what we also do then, I get the girls to write down a little hadith or a little kind gesture that they put in each one. So every time they open day one of Ramadan, there'll be a sweet, and it might say smile because it's charity, you know, something like that. But other than that, really, and then it's also about getting them to even try a bit of fasting, even though this is still quite young, whether they just, you know, do an hour after school, whether, you know, usually they would come home and have a snack. During Ramadan, it would be like, oh, well, actually, because it's Ramadan, why don't we try not eating for about an hour? You know, it's just like trying to instill that little bit of self-discipline, and of course, and just creating that kind of God consciousness in everything that we do, which obviously we should have all year round. But then that's the blessing of Ramadan. It's an invitation to come back.
Now you're going to be working in a working environment where, and you're going to be fasting as well. So how are you going to manage in being now employed in part-time work and fasting? Because it'll be your first year where you're having to balance the two.
Yeah, that's really interesting. Because I mean, the last time I guess I was proper working would have during Ramadan, for example, would have been actually before having children. So it's interesting. Even though I have obviously been doing a lot of freelance work, I now obviously have my job with Revolution as well. I mean, the great blessing actually I find is, for example, even now when I need to pray, I can literally just say, right, I need to pray.
I saw that, and I was I was telling Moriam this. I've just seen I just love the fact that you had your little I
have a little prayer
mat.
It's actually my kid, one of the girls is there, a little kiddie one.
And then you just this event that we were at that you gossip and you just went and prayed and you just didn't bat an eyelid and nobody else did. You just did your thing.
No,
is that because you've made your colleagues aware that this is my prayer time? I'm going to go and pray. And is it that? And how easy was it for you to do that? And how did they adapt to that?
I have to say, in all the time that I've worked since even being young, whether through university, I never really came across an issue of when I told my colleagues that actually I need to pray. Actually, they were very, very accommodating. And even now, actually, I love the fact that even in a quite artsy space, people, because a lot of people don't associate those two things together. But I mean, I feel confident enough to be able to say, I do try to tell them in advance that, look, I might need prayer space at this point. And I think that just also helps them as well. And
because that's where you gain proper understanding.
That's the real,
and the arts should be an open space, and we should be sort of not judging.
No,
but
that's right.
It can, but unless you don't have those conversations, they're not going to know what to do about them.
No, exactly,
but one thing that really stands out for me, Imrana, about you is the fact that you are in quite a very cool, quirky place, and as a Muslimah who's very, very visibly Muslim, that your style has always remained very sort of hijab-like, very modest. Like, you've not gone down like that funky hijabista look to be artsy and funky and kind of accepted.
That's what the real reason is I couldn't pull it off. But no, it's kind of, I mean, and to be honest, the pressure is there.
Okay.
I do, because when I do look at
I'm liking a little funky pin on your hijab pin.
I mean, that's the one thing which is always
you're blinging it out, girl.
But no, I mean, I think the pressure is always there for women. I mean, even now when you look at visibly Muslim women who, whether in the media or on TV or in lots of different kind of spheres, they do sometimes look a certain way, and it is a little bit, for me, I just think, well, I've been like this for donkey's years. I am who I am, and
and you're respected for your mind and your ability, and and that's why I love observing you, and I love observing you in these spaces, because you were at a symposium which had a wealth of creators from the whole of across the country come to Luton, and you led this with some of the most established art practitioners. You totally own that space, girl.
Thank you. Thank you. That was a great experience.
I'm not. But what I'm trying to say here is you've not had to change who you are to fit into somebody else's impression. And I really find that really admirable about you. And what I'm kind of saying, what I'm trying to project is there is a space for everybody. You just need to enter it and own it. And and it takes brains, and it takes intelligence, and it takes consistency, and
I think you just do need to persevere. I think if you're true to yourself, I think that is really important, and then you need to actually have that confidence and ability first, almost before. But by the same token, that's the thing, that if you, a lot of people might feel actually, for, maybe parents feel, oh, we don't want our sons and daughters to kind of pursue this path. There's not maybe money in it. There's not any recognition in it, or whatever it might be. But actually, it's because the things that we do are sometimes a bit not more meaningful necessarily than other things, but the impact and the vision I think that we have as creatives, especially because it's part of our heritage actually as Muslims. The arts and culture have always been a big thing, and it's about, okay, how do we become advocates for that? And actually I do feel our communities need to get a bit more behind the creatives,
But also you're able to kind of place your boundaries as well. You know that this time is when you pray. You know that there are going to be certain aspects that are kind of like, you're not going to engage in. You're making that aware, but it's not going to impact your work, because there is an element of socializing which you're not going to participate in, which they're going to respect, and it takes one person to kind of educate and to stick to that, and then it can be adapted and supported. But I'm coming back to that symposium, because we had an interesting conversation about that one of the kind of guests, participants, kind of apologized to you after, because they assumed you not to they had made this assumption about you, but then they were quite taken aback by when they heard you speak.
Right.
And they kind of they were very, very impressed.
Yeah, I mean, I think what sometimes is interesting is when you're first approached to do something, and then when you deliver, there is almost this kind of not overpraise, but almost like they a little bit shocked about, are you actually not to say that
she constructed a sentence.
Yeah, and it is
delivered it.
Yeah, and this is the problem. And even when for example, if I've ever shared a poem or something at an event, and then just to be told that you were really articulate and it was really good, but it's like that's coming from a place where you were expecting I wouldn't be. So I think we all need to kind of unpick that a little bit. But then by the same token, I get it, because if there's not many of us doing that work, then it's going to take time for actually people to realize that we're just as good as anybody else, if not better. And
this is what the Echoes of the Diaspora is all about. It's showcasing this articulateness, which is that a word? Articulateness? And that is in the core of our town, coming and embracing this platform with the stories of British Muslim women who are sharing the hidden stories. These are stories they want you to hear. This is an opportunity for them to have their say. We've got the likes of Rihanna Faisal, who's going to be seen in a different light. I'm really excited about that. There's young voices from young girls from Chonli Girls' School participating, and also women from across our Luton town engaging in this very, very exciting project. Now, I have to point out, these are not actors. They're not trained professionals. This is the first time some of them will be ever experiencing a stage or an opportunity like this. And so to support them, I think it's a beautiful thing. I'm definitely going to be going down because I'm just excited about seeing Rihanna, like being all artsy. This is just going to be so cool. And it's also like showing a bit of love to our ladies, and it's about, you mentioned something about it's a collaboration, it's supporting one another. And that's very key in this town. And this is where people power and passion is another example of where we're wanting to reunite the town, celebrate those voices, give people the opportunity and the platforms to kind of have that say, inshallah. Now, if you'd like to win tickets to go and check either this event that Imrana has produced or the Family Relief Charity Dinner, then we've got 2 questions for you to answer. We've got about 5 minutes left on the show. I will be going on Facebook Live to see what comments have been left. So I hope they're all positive and thumbs up to the show. It is National Fun Day, so I want it all light and fun. And also be checking out the WhatsApp messages as well, and giving you guys a shout out. So the question to win 2 tickets for the Echoes of the Diaspora are, Imrana?
The tickets are at echoesluton.eventbrite.co.uk, and they're only £3 plus a small booking fee, so I think it's about £3.79. So you can, there's 2 events, so Thursday 6 to 7 at Bury Park Community Centre and 7 to 8 p.m. at the university. You can also pay at the door on either of the days. It'll be £5 and you can just come and join us.
Inshallah. And we're giving 2 tickets away as well.
Yes, 2 tickets. And the question is that whose stories are we showcasing?
Whose stories are being showcased at this event, inshallah? You need to WhatsApp us on 07779481822. So that's an event. If you want to participate in another event, then we're also giving away 2 tickets on Inspire FM, not just across my show, but also the Rise and Shine show. This is for Family Relief. They are giving away tickets for a charity dinner at Dallas Centre on Saturday, April the 13th. And the whole objective of this event is to make sure that there will be essential food items that will be provided for the poor and needy who will be fasting in seriously tough conditions across various parts of the world. Family Relief want to make sure that, inshallah, that they are helping starving families of Gaza, Syria and Yemen. Now, the question for you to win a pair of tickets to this very, very lovely event, this charity dinner by Families Relief, is Yemen's ancient kingdom of Sheba. What was the name of their famous queen who married the Prophet Suleiman? Peace be upon him. So what was the name of the famous famous queen who married Prophet Suleiman, peace be upon him. So you've only got a couple of minutes. I'm so sorry that we drew the question right at the end of the show, but believe it or not, people, we'll be rolling out that competition over onto the Rise and Shine show. So if you haven't had a chance to answer today, then inshallah on the Rise and Shine show we'll be also giving away tickets there. Now the repeat of the show is 8 p.m. today, so if you get to listen to the show and you want to enter the competition to win the tickets to the Echoes of the Diaspora, you still have that opportunity too. So you need to WhatsApp to the studio on 07779481822. Also tell us which venue you want to actually attend, whether it's Bury Park or whether it is at Bedfordshire University, and inshallah those tickets will be yours. Now I love the fact that it's been showcased at Bedfordshire University. Why did you choose that as a venue? That's quite intriguing.
To be honest, it was trying to think of in Luton a bigger venue where initially I was thinking the Library Theatre perhaps, but I mean, to be honest, they didn't have the availability that we needed. So the university seemed the next best kind of thing in terms of the space, the fact that it's already got tiered seating, and it was about making it slightly different to the community showcase, which will be at Bury Park. So again, to give the ladies who will be sharing and performing an idea of how to be in a different space. And also actually I'd really like to encourage any students out there who maybe study at the university, for them also to come, because it's really about, whereas usually the university can come across as being very institutionalized, and I think some of us might feel like, when something's at the university it's not for us, but it's for me to say, actually, we as Muslims, as women, as South Asian women, we can belong in any space, and we should feel welcome in any space. So a lot of the past events I've done, for example, whether it's at Connor's Cafe, the Hat Factory, again, that was a space where not a lot of our own communities tended to go to, but and
that was a lovely venue. I really enjoyed your event.
It's just so
great lighting.
Yeah, it was great lighting. It was, and there was going to be even better lighting, because obviously we've got the Jar Mix doing all our tech, so it's going to be
the
really
lighting
good.
Queen is Jitty. Massive big shout out to Jitty and everybody else that tuned in to the show this morning. It's always a pleasure to have you join us, and thank you for all the comments that have been delivered. I don't have enough time to say salams to everyone, but inshallah I'll roll this over to next week. Folks, repeat of the show is 8 p.m. You can catch the conversation on Spotify, iTunes. Do hashtag us on, it could be hashtag fun at the Urban Kube on Twitter. Follow Imrana. Imrana, is there anything you want to say?
Yeah, just really quickly, the events are open to both men and women, so it's not women only.
All right. Thank you for that, and thank you to Moriam and Brother Tarek this morning. So from me, Assalamu alaikum. Have a wonderful, fun week, and inshallah catch you this time next week. Assalamu alaikum.
Thank you for listening to our podcast. Why not tune in to our live stream at inspirefm.org and follow and subscribe to our social media platforms at Inspire FM Luton.